fight about money with someone and walk away thinking, why didn't they just tell me? Or why did they expect me to just read their mind? That might not be a personality clash. It might be something deeper, something cultural. Today we're talking about ask versus guess culture and how it can quietly sabotage joint financial decisions. Hey there, I am Paige and welcome to Nerdonomic, where this giant nerd talks about money and has a blast doing it. Oh gosh, ask and guess culture. Okay, so this isn't just money. This happens everywhere all the time. It was completely mind-blowing to me when I learned about this framework. So I just wanted to kind of put this out there because I know that for me, it's one thing managing my own money. That can be tricky enough. I actually did a video on how I budget without hitting my life. You can watch after this. But there's another degree of difficulty when you have joint finances with somebody and you're trying to manage money together. So I thought I would get into ask versus guess culture because that is the secret sauce in a lot of decision-making and communication. And it certainly can cost you a lot when it comes to dollars and cents if you don't have clarity on it. So I keep talking about this ask and guess culture. What the heck am I talking about? All right. So there are two different kind of communication styles in dealing with people. With ask culture, what you do is you directly state your needs, your thoughts, openly, overtly, directly, frankly to people. And this is kind of a way of dealing with people that permeates all of your dealings. Now, if you're somebody that's more into guess culture, you're expected to pick up on cues, things that are unspoken, and asking directly may be seen as rude or presumptuous. Okay? You want to ask, but you don't want to be rude, so you just kind of dance around it. You imply, you try to guess what the other person means, that sort of thing. Let's kind of play out how this would look like in terms of money, all right? So if you're talking about budgeting, somebody who is an ask type might say, I want to spend $400 on this trip and expect discussion over it. Where somebody that's more guess culture might hope their partner notices the stress they're under and offers that they can go on the trip. Or something like big purchases. The ask partner might say, hey, can I spend $400 on this? And then the other person, guess culture, would be like, yeah, I guess. And then they'll go spend the $400 and then the guest culture partner's all mad. And so when the dust settles, the ask partner's like, I asked you and you said yes. If you didn't want me to buy it, why did you say yes? Now the partner who feels guest culture will be like, well, you should have known I didn't want you to spend that. Like it was clear, even if they said yes. Okay? See how this can kind of pile up? Somebody being afraid to ask for what they want, kind of dancing around the other person, never picking up on it. Or maybe one person asks something directly, the other person reluctantly agrees. They don't hear the reluctance from their partner, and then the person who reluctantly agreed is sort of pissy. See how this kind of adds up? And it can make bad financial decisions, it can strain a relationship, and it can be really hard to set explicit financial goals, especially if you are guest culture. So with an ask person, they might really want those explicit plans. They might want to set a budget and say, okay, these are our goals. This is where we want to be. They feel comfortable. They feel secure. They feel good about it. Where somebody who's more guest culture might feel uncomfortable that everything has to be a negotiation. It might feel weird. Like, why are we talking this to death? Something else I've heard people who are guest culture be like, oh, you're talking this to death, when it's the first time we've even talked about it. This can obviously cause a lot of resentment because the ask partner feels like the guest partner is being vague or controlling. Meanwhile, the guest partner feels like the ask partner steamrolls them or lacks tact. This happens in a lot of different areas, but money magnifies this effect because it's tied to security, identity, and perception of fairness. These are pretty loaded topics. So, okay, we know what it is. What do we do about it? Well, first off, identify which type you are. Heck, I'll give you a quick quiz. See which one you are. Okay, mini quiz. Are you more ask or guess culture? Question 1. Your friend offers you a spare room in their house during your trip. You, A, say yes if it works for you. They wouldn't offer it if they didn't mean it. Or B, feel hesitant and only say yes if you're sure it will inconvenience them. Number 2, you're craving pizza and thinking of ordering some. You, A, ask your roommate if they want to split one with you. Or B, only suggest it if they seem like they might want pizza too. Number 3, a coworker you don't know well invites you to a small party. You, A, assume the invitation is sincere and go if you're interested. Or B, wonder if they just felt obligated and consider whether you were truly wanted. 4, you need a ride to the airport. You. A, ask a friend who lives nearby. You're okay with a no. Or B, weigh whether it's too much to ask and maybe just book a ride service. Number 5, you're hosting a gathering. A friend asked to bring someone. You don't want that. You. A, say no. It's your home and you're allowed to have preferences. Or B, say yes, even if uncomfortable. You don't want to seem rude. And finally, question 6. How do you interpret a no to a question? A, as a neutral boundary, no big deal. Or B, as something that might mean they're upset or that I asked for too much. Here's a scoring guide. If you answered mostly A, you lean ask culture. You're comfortable with direct communication and trust that others can say no. Or mostly B's, you lean guess culture. You value social harmony and try to read cues before making a request. And if you're mixed, you might be a code switcher, navigating both styles depending on context or relationships. Okay, so now that you got a rough idea, the next thing to do with that is to make the invisible visible. So share your communication defaults with the people closest to you. And if you need to use this video to explain ask versus guess culture or give the quiz, have at it. I'll put timestamps in so that it's easy to skip to the quiz. I had trouble finding good quizzes online, so I just wrote one myself. I used to work in psychological research and as a consultant at a psychological consulting firm to test people in psychometric batteries. So this is just a quick thing. It's not total science, but it'll give you kind of the 80-20. And once you've made that invisible visible, create new norms for your financial decisions. So you can come up with ways that you guys talk about it, like standards. Like you might have one that's like, we always check in for purchases over $20. I've heard that one a lot, or 50 or 100, what have you, whatever your situation is financially. Or you might say, I'll say what I want, but feel free to say no. Figure out what'll work for both parties, kind of hash it out. It'll be tough if you're a guest culture person, but you're not being rude, okay? You're not being rude to make this explicit. This is something that will save you both a lot of heartache. If you're the guest partner, this will help. And finally, you need to kind of acknowledge that compromise may require one person learning to ask more, interpret less, interpret more. Making it work can take one person shifting, both people shifting, and it's about finding something you can both live with, not that everybody changes the same amount, okay? Like, you want to have a good life. Look, most financial fights aren't about the actual dollars and cents. They're about assumptions. If you and your partner live in different communication cultures, don't panic. You're not broken, you're bilingual. And learning how to translate might just be the most valuable financial skill of all. Anyway, it's been great talking to you as always. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.